Hey everyone, like yesterday, today I'll be doing a video on my thoughts of MIYU and whether or not you should summon. To start off, she's a Dark Elemental human and her slots are 6-star magic, 5-star physical, and 4-star magic and defense. Not the greatest slots in the world, especially the 4-star magic, but they're good for a DPS. The defense slot is solid in endgames, but I wouldn't waste expert LBs on her. I'd just wait to naturally LB her if you get dupes. Her defense slot isn't worth wasting them on her besides someone else. For her skill, it increases her arts by 3 a second for 10 seconds with a 13-second CT. Not the worst skill, it can provide 30 arts with a 13-second CT, although that's roughly 2.3 arts a second. Nothing crazy, but it's whatever. For her arts, it does 25,000 dark damage magic, and for 20 seconds, it reduces the enemy's dark resist by 50%. Pretty solid debuff for sure. It lasts a good amount of time and is all around good for herself and other dark units to do a bit more damage. For her true arts, it does 90,000 dark damage magic, and for 30 seconds, she increases her own attack and accuracy by 150%. This is insanely interesting because she not only gets a very high attack buff, but the accuracy buff is helpful, especially on stages with higher evasion. This will pretty much guarantee she'll never miss any of her hits, and it having a 90,000 damage modifier means it can put up some pretty good damage as well. For her super arts, it does 185,000 dark damage magic, all allies get 100% defense ignore, and human allies get 200% damage for 20 seconds. This is a very strong super art for sure. The defense ignore is especially good for the nicher stages that might resist or negate crit, and the human damage buff not only helps MIYU but other human DPS on the team as well, obviously. Not only that, but the super art has a 185,000 damage modifier, which means that it's going to be putting up some insanely high DPS outputs, and the damage only helps her to become even crazier. For her passives, at the start of the quest, she gets 10 arts a second for 2 minutes, and if she's over 80% HP, she gets 200% arts damage. She gets 100% paralysis resist as well as 20% damage to enemies under 30% HP. The 10 arts a second is insanely valuable, and with her skill, she'll have roughly 12 arts a second for the first 2 minutes, which will make it pretty easy for her to cycle between her arts. The 200% arts damage is also insane as well, since when it's combined with her super art damage buff, she'll have 400% damage up, which is completely insane for a unit with a 185,000 damage modifier. The paralysis resist is nice, and the damage up against the low health enemies is okay as well. For her true weapon, it's a 5-star magic and it does 8,000 dark damage magic. For 10 seconds, you get 50% attack and reduces the enemy's magic resist by 30% with a 45-second CT. This is a fairly mid effect, all things considered, but it's not the worst since it'll help a little bit with the damage. For the passives, when used by MIYU, she gets 60% damage against non-giant boss enemies and 5% magic resist. This is very good considering not every boss is going to be a giant boss, and it'll help a ton. Although on stages like Summoner's Road it won't be as helpful, but it won't be terrible. If you have disposable rainbow gems, I'd maybe get it, although generally speaking it's not worth it. It does buff her nicely in the right situations, but you'd be better generally with something else. All in all though, MIYU is an interesting DPS. She can buff her damage by 400% and attack and accuracy by 150%. That means all of her attacks are going to go crazy since her attack is nearly as high as it can be without stagnating in benefits. And against high evasion bosses, she's going to be pretty much the best pick since her accuracy is so high. But not only does she benefit her own damage, but she increases other humans' damage by 200%, meaning that she's not the only one benefiting. So she'll also help to buff the team as well, which is a very welcome buff. But in general, she's a great DPS and a nice addition to any box. If you do pull her on the banner, she's definitely a great pickup as well. Maybe not so much as Emiya, but she's definitely a solid pick herself. I wouldn't chase her, but I'd definitely do a summon. Maybe for the hopes of her, but more so obviously for the chance to get Emiya. Let me know your thoughts about her though. I personally won't go too deep for her since I'm saving them all for the lock-on for Emiya. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you later.